Welcome to episode 14 of the Mirandus Farmer's Almanac. I'm your host, Xana. Co-hosting with me is Wolfie the Wolfenite, who plays for passive. The first in-game tool items are in the store, but you can't buy it yet. These are the Lanterns of the King. Then, with more info on boats and docks, we go for another round of speculation on the two. We also talk a bit about how the seafarer economy might work, and some ideas to keep in mind if you're a captain of one of these fine vessels. In between all that, we talk anything from in-game earnings, crafting, economies, whatever else. Alright, let's listen in.
Somebody poked the bear.
There's a lot of information to go through.
Yeah, so this Matrium we're supposed to get to buy the lantern. Did they give an idea like when that's gonna happen?
Yeah, that's okay. So the Materium is end of the month. That could be like any day now, right? They drop that. Who knows how that's going to be? If it's going to be a gold rush to get them lanterns.
They said though it could be a little bit though. It might go out a little bit further for them to get it all set up.
And that's okay too. You know, you want everything to just work smoothly, so that's fine. There's no rush on this stuff. There's no game yet, right? Everybody's FOMOing with these 100 lanterns. Actually, it's like 97 lanterns. Just threw them and dropped to the nodes. So let's start with the lanterns, right?
Sell out like immediately.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's why they got to tier them, right? It's smart that
They're
they
not
tier
even
them.
going to sell out. Only people that have a crap ton of exemplars are going to be able to touch those because you got to have 10,000 Materium, and I'm pretty sure mine didn't get me anywhere near it with my one exemplar.
Yeah, totally. So they have, they haven't even given the numbers out, like how much Materium per exemplar per class, right? Because I imagine you get more with an elf than you would with a human.
Yeah, so I'm figuring those are going to go to the top end people that have like 100 exemplars plus or something.
Do we know max supply for lantern?
100.
100, and there's 10 already distributed from that 100.
This is the future too. This is the first item of Miranda, like usable little item. These are going to be all the time, right? Throughout the whole.
Well, there's the Ring of Discord that we were all supposed to get. We're still waiting on.
Yeah, well, you're waiting to hear what you can use, how good it is, or what it can do. But we know what the lanterns, right? So how good is the lanterns? You know, there's a lot of questions with it because in the AMA, he's talking. You know, you turn on your flashlight is what we get from the play tests. But now we got torches will go out, right? Lanterns need fuel. That opens up for another building. It's just having fuel. Who's making the fuel for these lanterns? And then you have this lantern, which is good forever and works better than both. So if you're out at night, man, and you don't have an elf, I can see these lanterns being super valuable. And not only that, I'm sure they're rentable, which is also super valuable, right?
If you're gonna go do a quest in a dark cave or something, and you need light, and the lanterns would help you. Yeah, it's smart concept like that for a couple days or a week or whatever, and yeah,
that too. Even going into like caves or, you know, I got one of those dwarfs that can see inside dark places. But yeah, you're rolling into somewhere you can see a little further. Might be useful. So
yeah.
I expect complete FOMO over how these lanterns work. I'm just wondering. It's like, okay, everybody, we're dropping the Materium at this time. Everybody's just waiting for it to drop so they can immediately buy the lantern.
Well, I think it's only going to be top class people that are going to be able to grab them. The people that have the large amount of.
Yeah, well, who's got the 10,000, right?
Well, I know one person that's holding 100 plus of those suckers. So
I know somebody's holding 50 of just humans.
Yeah.
I thought I was doing well with 1350.
I mean, 13 might be enough, right? I mean, depending on what you got. But I got quite a few, but I ain't pulling nothing like 20 or any more than that.
I'm strutting with my one.
All right. Well, so we know what lanterns are. There's 100 of them. We're waiting for the Materium to drop to buy this. So last time we talked on this, me and you, Wolfie, we were talking about these boats. Like we thought maybe anybody can use these boats. Anybody can just roll up to a dock and there's a boat and you do the fee and you drive it around, drop it off wherever, and that whoever owns that boat gets the fee. No, they're like you said, they're taxis, right? The person that owns the boat is the only one driving the boat. unless there's special permissions allowed for that too. So there's an economy base there. That's a full-time job, dude.
Yep.
Yeah.
So for 1 ETH, you can own a taxi.
Right. I mean, how valuable is that? I mean, you can see boat owners. There's a lot. Listen, this is going to be a soup, right? There's questions. There's a lot of questions with this because boat owners are going to have to set up trade routes, right? They're going to have to know where these deeds are, where these other docks are, transporting
Which
goods.
means you're going to have a cartographer on your boat with you while you're traveling most of the time.
Not only that, man, but at the beginning of the game, the cartographer is going to be the most important exemplar, man, because nobody knows where anybody is.
So do you think the cartographers are going to be exploring and can sell maps or?
Yes,
Yeah.
AMAs in the past, we're talking about exemplars, or anybody can create maps, but the cartographers create the best maps, right? That's like they can find the places that other map makers make. This last AMA, cartographers are the only ones that can make maps. That's huge.
So let's say my ranch, I'm off in BFE and stuff, and that means that everybody that's out in the world, other than where like the citadels start, where everybody passively chooses which citadel they want to jump into or something, and then everybody else is just dead in the water in hopes that someday somebody finds you.
You're exploring the world, man. It's just like simulation. This is great. It's cool, right? It's so cool, but
right. But random drop now can't be. You can't just show up at a main space like the town square or something, because this is gonna crush the game in a lot of directions. Because now that's cool and all, but it's not, because you have no workers that are going to be able to come work your space. Like, how do they find your place to come work that space?
I don't know. That is the question I want to ask on the next AMA. How do we not turn this place into a soup where you're like, you don't know that you're surrounded by five outposts and you're an outpost too, right? That's the closest thing is 5 outposts. Like, how do you diversify the map where it just flows well, right? Rather than just a mishmash soup.
Like a mishmash soup that's blind-eyed on the other side.
Yeah, you need the cartographers to discover you need to buy their maps. You got to find where your trade routes are. I mean, it's like
the game is not hold until they come along, because everybody's just going to be wandering around hoping that they find.
Like the first month or something or more might just be like everybody like, all right, well, we need to pick up it might not be good to just lay down your deed, right? Find a spot and lay down your deed. You might want to explore a while, find out a good spot. This person put some shit down here. That person put some shit down here.
Well, how do we put our deed down though? That doesn't like, how do we even choose?
You just select it. There's a spot big enough for your deed to fit. This question's been answered. Listen, I asked this question before. There's no map. You start in and you go out and you find where you want to put your deed. And there's selected spots, like a Town of the Duke. You just can't put it anywhere. There's got to be a big enough space. And there'll be plenty of spaces to put it. But this is the spot that it fits, right? And that's where you put it.
So that we don't know the biome that we're putting into. It's just black. We just put it in that square and good to go.
Yeah, you just go out there. It fits in this area. You can stick it there if you want.
So is there going to be some type of, okay, how much distance do you get before the next person can put another ranch down? So
I imagine if it fits, you can put it right next to it if it wants. If there's a spot, right? If it fits. Nothing's been said about that yet, though, either. But, that's what you want, though. If you're setting up next to a baron, you want that baron to have a farm and a ranch that's kind of close by. Maybe even a dock. Because there's a lot of economics, man, with these boats. I mean, especially if you can put, a lot of people are against these, they don't like the deeds on the docks, right? Because there was a promise to have, these are the deeds, there will be no other deeds, right? That's it.
And they become land deeds at this point.
And now docks have become kind of like a land deeds for smaller stuff, right? And McCarthy said, he doesn't want, there's no big plots going to be on these docks, but maybe like, the idea of a 10 by 10, which is a tavern. He liked the idea of a tavern on the bigger ones, right? And I kind of agree with him on that, because that fuels that economy off the docks. Like, how cool would it be? Like, the storage, like one of the storehouses or something right on the dock. The boat rolls up. He buys what's in the storehouse right off the dock and is able to transport that to a faraway place, right? It just makes it easy for that economy to roll.
And did they touch on there will be no mounts, right? Like air mounts, right? Because
What?
then it all like will there be can we find like air mounts like mounts that can fly?
Oh, nothing like that yet. No.
Well, I hope that it's gonna change the dynamic and the economics
No.
of boats.
Yeah, knowing McCarthy, he wouldn't throw that in there unless it was like exceedingly rare. Rare. Like there's only 10 of these. Like you can get on a dragon, you can fly it, and he transports this much weight, right? Something like that. Where that's like I'm saying, the lantern's just the start. In the future, there could be like there's dragons. There's these 5 dragons, and you can ride them, and they can haul this much stuff. And there's only 5 of them, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, I gotta have this in my life."
No,
Yeah.
only like the 5 people that can afford
Right.
$3 billion.
Sure. But even so, it's something cool that like there's only 5 of these things, right? There's the way he's designing this is kind of like a simulation. Not everybody can have this stuff, and there's like player ownership. It's just like this game is fucking going to be awesome. Like you're not going to be able to buy it all. You're like these lanterns. Everybody's freaking out. Like, there's only 100 of them. These lanterns aren't shit, dude. There's going to be shit that's way awesome in a lantern.
Right, but everything that's coming out is just going to get more invaluable as you're saying. Like pretty much the market right now is untouchable for the average person.
Yeah, that's and that sucks. And what's
all this stuff comes out? It's all limited to the rich people at that point. So
to the
it's not
Gala node
like
owners, I feel like, yeah. But
So-
I mean,
they got to find a middle ground at some point.
there's no game right now, right? So I look at it like this: there's no game. You're selling the pieces of the game, right? So once the game is ready to go and launch, it's just like playing any other MMO game. You log in the game, you're just trying to get a sword so you can kill stuff, right? You're not worried about owning the tavern over here. Any other MMO, you're just using it. So
Now you come into the game as that person that's just aiming to get the sword, but you need to pay the guy that holds the lantern. You need to pay the guy that owns the boat. You need to pay the guy that does this. That's going to be a lot more.
But just like any other MMO, you're paying for all this stuff. The thing that's important now is that we are using the idea that nobody has this much money. So we're not overcharging our building owners, right? We're not overcharging the people buying from the building owners. And that's where the economy comes in, right? Everything's going to start out super high priced, and then the market's going to correct it, right? So where to use the boat, you're only using gold instead of Materium because there's 2 currencies that we know of. McCarthy still wants to use that in-game currency, and then there's the Materium. Everybody's going to want the Materium first, right? But the gold can be useful in the game as well. I've seen this in other games where there's 2 currencies. There's this real valuable one, at least for blockchain gaming. There's a valuable one that you want, and then there's the one that works, right? And you're willing to take it. So
Yeah, I mean, there should be no reason why someone with no assets shouldn't be able to jump in the game and find something that's tradable. Like whether it's picking up sticks or being having limited mining capabilities with rock, they can get a pickaxe. I don't know. There's got to be something that they can do to start building their way up.
Absolutely.
Fishing maybe
yeah, it should be affordable. Like you just go out and do some stuff, and you can sell it to a building owner and make some money and be able to
you have to be
upgrade
careful
your stuff.
because as you're out picking up sticks, if you don't have a cartographer walking with you, you might not find your way back.
You're with it.
That's a whole other conversation right there, man. Like getting lost.
I left town for 5 minutes, man. I don't know where I'm at. That's
Shit.
4 hours ago. Real world.
A year ago, Wolf and I were talking about the ranches, and we were discussing, so all these plots on the ranches, whether they're homestead ranches, farming outposts, or whatever, will be, I guess, rentable to a certain extent. I don't know how much it's changed or if they're gearing towards that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were looking at the ranch map or the ranch deed, or the infographic they put out last year about how
Yeah,
many
the floor
plots are
plan.
on. Yeah, and it's like, okay, like if each one of these provides X amount of Gala or Matrium or whatever, Materium or whatever you call it, a day, then it's a good way to start understanding what the value of these plots will be. But like you said, everything's going to start off like crazy, like FOMO. So we don't know exactly. We won't ever know until it's
No,
probably
exactly. You won't. So that, somebody was asking me the question the other day about the ROI. And I'm like, it's not about ROI like what you make in real life, right? It turns into ROI, what you making in the game. Are you being profitable in the game? Are you advancing in the game? So I told this guy a lot of it's going to be based on population. Population is going to be very important. You ain't going to see exemplars be valuable until there's more people than there are exemplars, right? And then also placement of where your deeds are. How well are your deeds talking to other deeds? How well are your buildings being used by players? Is there a lot of traffic coming in? So
so that's like guilds, right?
that's what I would like our guild to like just be a tool for everybody to use, where there's like a communication of deed to deed, and that deed that you're neighboring with, it doesn't have the same buildings and you're not competing. It just, the whole map would flow well. And I would just like this guild to do that. But I mean, we should do one of these podcasts just on our guild and everybody's guild, just to give everybody an idea what all these guilds can do. And who knows, man? There's just so many unknowns with this game. That's why I made the podcast, right? Let's just talk about this fucking game. So
It just seems like when they were talking about, oh, the possibilities are endless, possibilities are endless. Yeah, but you can't keep saying that. Like there needs to be defined possibilities, otherwise it just becomes a dream fest.
yeah, it is, right? So I just use, I don't know, the rule of McCarthy, simulation, right? Make it simulation. So what's it really take to make the sausage, right? So it can't be too real where it sucks, but enough where it's still fun and challenging. It's like crafting, man. It's like at some point making broadswords, they're going to be overinflated. So then you would go to a second tier broadsword where it would take 10 broadswords to make the next broadsword. So you're burning items to create the next tier up. And that could be endless.
Yeah, items need to have what do they, I forget what they call it. They need to wear and break, like to have the economy keep going. Like these broadswords that may not have any particular, like assets on it, skills on it, like vitality or speed or whatever.
Yep.
I don't know if
I believe they will. That's the whole point of the blacksmith. Like your shit wears down and you need to repair it. You repair it, pay the fee, and it's good as new. But it can also get old, like it's old technology, right? There's an upgraded version now, and that technology.
I'm sorry, but what I liked about it, let's say your sword has 20,000 whatever life on it, I don't know, and then every time you repair it, it never gets back to 20,000. It'll get close to like 18,000. You repair it again, 16,000. Eventually, that sword can't repair anymore, and you need a new sword.
That's a really good idea, because there needs to be burns like that too. That's a really good idea.
And it works pretty well. It helps the economy because that player will always need new swords or new staffs or wands or whatever.
Sure.
So,
all right. I don't know. We got anything else there? I mean, there's a lot there, but.
Well, I also talked about the cartographers and the dwarves. I'm always curious about the dwarves, like the mining capability. I bought a couple of those, and I was like, okay, how's that going to work? Like, how much more, bonus is it,
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see in the dark in the cave, so you can go further. Maybe the darker it is, the rarer stuff's at, right? Or the more dangerous, who knows? Then you got the glimmering dwarves. They're just finding gems more than other ones. Pretty basic with that. It's all in the descriptions.
Did they talk about at all how Exemplars will be able to rent or like that?
They said they're rentable. They will be rentable. How valuable they'll be is based purely on the population, man, and the demand of that specific exemplar. A lot of things, the first time it was mentioned was in this AMA that I remember is classes, right? You got your races, you got your exemplars, but now there's classes involved. So what kind of classes are you going to have on top of having these exemplars, such as like, mages, warriors, who knows what else they want to come up with. So a list of classes would be kind of cool to hear about in the future too.
Did they mention at all? And I have to go back and rewatch. Did he mention at all like a time frame of maybe when they'll release some lore about more the Mirandus land and stuff?
No, I mean monthly. We get monthly now. They said we're going to have this monthly. We'll see if that actually happens, but we'll see. I feel like this podcast is far in between now too, right? I was doing it weekly, and now I'm like, there's not enough information. I don't want to get too speculative where I'm like making shit up. But there is a lot to talk about from this. What's the deal with the horse guy?
I don't know.
No, they're not talking to me about it, so.
I thought you were the horse guy, man.
I thought I was too, but I got booted out apparently by Gala.
I just
Putty was the horse guy.
Putty's the horse guy?
Oh well, he bought like stables, didn't he?
Yeah, but he wasn't intending to do anything other than sell them.
Oh yeah. Which I think the Gala store is going to end up selling the horses, at least at first. Like, these are the top horses that you want to breed with. I don't know. Well, we'll find it. That's speculation too. But
so did you buy a Majestic stable?
I think
I have one in my I don't have one in my control. I'm going to be helping somebody run theirs.
There you go. But the horse guy that they got, man, is a horse guy. Wait, it's a friend that knows a horse guy, but they want to get the horse guy too. I was very confused by this. So this, like, I guess it's an animation feature. So how well the horse moves and what it looks like on the. I'm like, are we getting better graphics? Because he talked about like some really cool animation tools. Like, what are those animation tools? So. I mean,
like, aren't we still blocky?
Yeah, it's very blocky. I'm like, how the horse moves, and I'm like, is that real important with how blocky this game is? But I mean, cool if they want to make it cooler. I'm down with that too. But I was like confused with the animation and why they need a horse guy that's like he knows how the horse moves, and I'm like, man, that's very in depth there. That's like some Real Engine 5 shit.
This is being built on Unity though, so.
Which is, it's still cool. I like Unity. I like the way it looks. But I was just like curious about the animation.
No, I thought they were just taking shots at me. Shots were fired.
Listen, nobody's thinking about you. They're trying to build this game.
They're always thinking about me.
They're like, man, how can we destroy Wolfenite? I know. They talked about the familiars a bit, the use case of the dragon familiars, right? So they will maybe shooting a fireball and doing a little bit of DPS. Okay, so the boats, right? So we have an economy for the boats. They want to do trade routes. You're trying to figure out where these deeds are. This guy needs this, and this guy sells this, and boat owners might be trying to put this together on top of taxiing people around, maybe lines on the dock, right? But then we get to the land, and there's an economy on the land. So that's when you get to the horses, right? Mm-hmm. And then you get to building carts and wagons to haul these goods. You think Gala's going to sell them, or do we get to build them?
Who would build them? The woodworker guys? The woodworkers?
I would assume you just build it in parts, right? Like maybe the small wood shops can do like the wheels and small parts like that.
I'm going to assume at this point that they're just going to end up in the shop and they're just going to be like the boats.
Man, I hope they leave us something to build though. I mean, something that takes time to build.
Yeah, I just see them. Like you said, man, there's an angle for them to make some money on it. They're going to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll make like a
I'm telling Gala, leave us something nice to build. Telling Gala
Shot
right
my
now.
horses down already.
I'm
So
gonna-
now-
Listen, you'll
we're
be able to
taking
still
carts
breed your
with us.
horses, but the ones they sell you are going to be the best. You want to breed with.
Golden Snoop Dogg cart. But
Yeah, maybe you'll get a horse in the Snoop Dogg box, man.
I didn't get a Snoop Dogg box.
Well, if
Oh,
I
but
get
I
a
think-
Snoop Dogg, if I get a horse in the Snoop Dogg box, I will sell you that horse. Or should
I think they should be able to make them because those things will break. And like you said with storage, it just increases the economy for people to make stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say, you get wheels break on carts or wagons, so maybe the wood shops would fix these wheels or
They get
So the
attacked.
boats will still need to be
maybe
mended and repaired.
that might be a cool idea. Like, your boat's kind of damaged from the water, or I don't know, maybe if you're bumping your boat into everything, like you're not good at driving it, maybe that's a use for seafarer, and you're hitting shit and you might need to repair it. Who knows? That might be, I'm sure they're not thinking of that, but that could be some thought in the future, like, oh yeah, more use case for these wood shops, or I don't know, maybe shipyards still could be a thing. Who knows, for repairs.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes down to the horses and the wagons, I imagine you're not driving these across the world, right? So there's going to be roads. So that opens up a thing. Do deed owners build the roads? Is there a main road? Because I imagine you go out there, are you following a road? Where do you put your deed at? Is there a road next to your deed? How do you, I think that'd be a cool future if there was maybe a main road that's already on the map where you put your deed, you can build a road to that road? Or does the world just create the routes and build the roads? It's almost terraforming.
Yeah, you need to have some control. You don't want to be like a big, have
Paying for the road.
spaghetti roads all over the place. You
Oh,
gotta-
could it be spaghetti roads? Or is there a main road and you just build to that road? Or is there no roads at all? I mean, I would assume there'd be some roads for the wagons and stuff. You're just not cruising out your deed and there's grass and you're just grass the whole way to the next deed. I don't know. Maybe we're tapping on things they're not even thinking of yet. I mean, we're still early development, so.
They're still just playing with the inventory. Leave them alone.
Yeah, right. They're messing with the inventory, man. We're like, fucking, what about these roads, bro? How am I going to fucking get there?
We're just playing with the inventory still. Leave us alone.
Jesus, we got another year, man. We're getting there. Some guys are getting hired. We got a horse guy now.
Yeah. Good for them.
Yeah, but I liked, I forget the guy's name that had the super long question in the AMA, man. It's a great question.
Guilt.
Everybody's like, oh my God, man, hurry up, ask the question. I'm like, nah, dude, he's very specific. It's a really great question, man. Some side deals going on. Everybody's anxious to like, who's getting buildings on what deeds, right? What deeds are talking to other deeds? And there's a lot of questions. That's the stuff we're thinking of, right? Right now they're on inventory or whoever else.
He was quiet through that because he was like, crap, I have no idea.
Yeah, dude. Hey,
and he's watching his
he's gonna
screen
fiddle
for
in
his
shit.
partner
Listen,
to
bro.
fiddle in.
We're not there yet. We're working on the inventory, and that shit is important.
Yeah, right. Don't ask us those
Yeah,
questions,
man.
please.
But it's a good question, and we'll be thinking about that. You writing this shit down, Manny? Right on. Yeah, man. I know. What do you guys think? Anything else on your mind? I noticed he talked about the arenas a bit too. I think the arenas are a great idea for the PvP, but
Who owns the arena?
well, yeah, exactly. Who's going to own the arena? I told Rome they need to buy an arena, or else they're not Rome. They got to own a Coliseum. But I think the arenas are more intimate PvP, like 2v2s and 3v3s and 1v1s. But it's great to have a land. Maybe you back a citadel and you have a land and you fight for this land. And only this citadel is able to use this land and farm its resources for that week or that month, right? And that gives everybody for a massive PvP battle rather than just an intimate arena for 2v2s, yada yada. I think that'd be PvP is extremely important in MMOs. So
Yeah, I mean, they can, like, so as soon as you enter, you're at risk for PvP.
yeah, well, you just
So,
like sign into
sign.
it. You don't lose
Yep.
anything. Maybe you lose. Maybe you're worth something, right? They kill you. You don't lose anything, but you're worth something for the kill. Or
Well, you can sign your NFTs, like if that's the challenge.
well, that's for the
Sort of.
arena. That's for the arena. That's hardcore. That's
Well,
playing
Talking
for
about
pinks.
general play. Yeah, all right. No, I get that.
Bet, they got gladiators fighting.
Yeah, this is just for a practice, for fun. You're out there. That arena is more serious, more intimate. You can throw
Friday night
rankings involved.
Put monsters in there, multiplayer, all fighting at the same time, trying to.
Yeah, I don't know. I come from
Scary,
WoW,
yeah.
so I'm used to these massive PvP battles. I thought that were super cool, but it's all, this shit can always come in later on in the game, right? Like you said, man, right now they're just working on inventory. And we just got this super crazy imagination of what, but it's kind of cool. McCarthy is that awesome where he's like, it's what you guys think is cool. What do you guys think is cool? We can do whatever you want, right? And I think that's awesome. And I hope he stays like that. But you don't want it to suck either.
No, it's true.
So as long as it's fair with everybody and it's fun, and I don't know. I guess it can't be fair with everybody, but as long as it's fun, how about that? We all can't have a 1 of 5 dragons that carry our shit.
Ice, fire, whatever. Ice dragon.
As long as Gala's not supporting this new horse guy, then I'm okay.
Listen, you need to just go to Gala and be like, I want to be the horse guy. Hey.
I've already approached this in multiple directions. I'm like, where's my statue? They talked last year about statues coming into the game. I'm like, there should be horse
You need to
statues.
get more involved with the channels then. You need to be like, listen, I'm here. I'm the horse guy. I want me on a mighty horse with a statue.
Damn
There
it.
should be statues of all of us in the early, like October on the Discord. The original people. Statues of us all over.
Listen, I don't need a statue. I just need to make sure this is a great game because I'm real into it.
I need a statue. There needs to be cartographers out there looking for my statue.
Listen, if it's possible, I want you to be a statue on my deed. Like, as soon as people enter, there's 2 of you right on each gate.
Damn right.
It's still all
Never ending swear. Shoot lasers.
It shoots lasers from your eyes. Right. Any foes? I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? We went through classes, PvP. We did the roads. ROI, population, placement, player driven. Very important.
One thing food economy, right?
Oh, food economy. Yeah. Huge.
Huge, right?
Absolutely.
But the liquids got shot down pretty much, it sounded like.
The what?
The liquids, like, he's...
Dude, I put in a comment. I thought that girl had a great question with the liquids because you could use liquids.
Taverns and stuff and all
Well, I'm
that.
just saying the liquids could be a very, very, I use 3 varies. Very, very, very weak, right? Source of food. Or it's like you have a canteen and it gives you just a little bit, right? It's just water. Just a kind of a refreshing kind of thing, gives you a little bit of energy.
Well, that girl sounds like she's coming from games like Ark and Life is Feudal and Rust, where you need to
Which
have
makes
some
sense.
liquid food in your system.
It makes sense, but you could use water. It could just be a very, very free, weak food that you can't use it again for hours. Who knows? Because you're already refreshed with water.
Is food going to give you like a buff, or is it going to be something essential that you need to just maintain daily time?
Could be both. I mean, I
Yeah,
know you
'cause
need
you
it for
can,
energy, or at least for
He's talking about mutton and lamb chops and all these other things. So if you've got this kind of a diverse economy built into your food system, then those are going to do different things if you're eating them.
Yeah,
like granaries will be huge because how much grain goes into pretty much everything, baked bread, And
Yep.
like things like farmers. I mean, farmers, geez, they're gonna
Ton.
do great.
Yeah, I'd like to know more. I mean, we got the graveyards, so we know how important the graveyards are, but just a lot more info on a lot of the buildings. Like the storage buildings on the docks, man. I could see boats like you stock the storage building on the dock and the boats just come by and they can just buy it from the storage, man. Like, what are all the use cases for these buildings and how important they can be? Like even the wood shop, right? Repairing the wagon wheels or I'm sure you need farm tools. Forge and wood shop might go together for making pitchforks, I don't know, hoes, shovels, whatever. So,
Ends for the wheels, nails for the wheels.
yeah, exactly. Just the smallest little detailed things that, we're coming down to torches and lanterns. You need fuel for your lantern now. What your building's making fuel for the lantern? I don't see any of them. It sounds like a new building to me.
I think dwarves will probably do it because they in the earth, right? They dig.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's fuel is something I don't know.
Maybe,
Well, fuel would
maybe
be pitch, so it's either going to be the black tar that you can gather from the ground, or you're going to
But
be
still, there's
pitch
some
that you
sort of
gather from
refining
trees.
process to it.
Yeah, well, pitch is easy. You could just actually take the pine wax off the tree directly and mix it in with a little sawdust, and now you got pitch.
True. See, that's stuff I don't know, right? So there you go. Maybe you just gave them the idea for the shit right there.
like, how many times a day do you check your inventory to see if you got Tyrion?
I always imagine like if somebody just like since like today, right? Today for the next 4 days, they're just constantly refreshing the screen, waiting for the material to show up because there'll be the material shows up and then the announcement, right? Well, if they can beat the announcement, they can buy the lantern real quick. Who's doing that right now?
I did it already. Just did it right now.
Oh, did you? No, I'm not. I don't know if I'm that desperate. That's crazy.
I already know I'm not getting enough, so I'm not stressing on it.
Well, you have F in your inventory, or it's so you can transfer it out of the treasure chest. I don't know where you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it to your treasure chest or right into your.
It's going to go to your treasure chest.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
You'll have to transfer it. Everything will be moved to your treasure chest when it comes from Gala.
Yeah, Gala Chain's gonna be super interesting. I think it's great. It's gonna be awesome. Oh no. Last thing I got to say is about the keys, man. Using keys to use your buildings, permissions, great for guilds. Man.
Are they time based?
No, it's permanent. Like you have allowance to use this.
And the owner can restrict it if they choose.
Sure, right. You say who can use it. There might be a limited number, like, this building can be used by 10 people, no more. Who knows? Or it could be endless, right? Who knows? But
I like that because someone might, you give it to 10 people, they might play, and you could have gave it to 10 other people that are playing.
Yep. Or you restrict to this person, give it to this person. I mean, that's cool. It's a cool guild feature. How about that? I mean, if our guild owns something, or if any guild owns something, man, they can benefit their members with usage to this. Could also keeps them in that area too, right?
Well,
It's their like home base.
I'd rather have, instead of keys, like you can't offer as much for sale, like the smaller shops, not the majestics, like the basics, shops. You can offer a certain amount of items compared to the majestic, where they maybe can have tenfold that, or more magical items or something, I just feel like with keys are limiting, it makes it too limited. Basically saying these people have to, those people you give the keys and they're buying. That's the question.
Amen. All right. Well, I think I tapped everything I want to tap. You guys got anything else? Throw in there?
No, I'll leave the sheep for next time.
Yeah. Sheeps and llamas. Who knows what else, man?
Golden fleece.
All right. Yeah, the golden fleece. All right. Well, until next time.
Yeah, man.
Peace.
Good talking to you guys.
For sure.
Later.